What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Brendan. Now, listen, I understand I'm throwing a lot of content out at you this month, but it's Christmas in July. I'm trying to squeeze as many videos in as I possibly can because I want to give away a bunch of stuff to my subscribers. So the train is going to roll on. This is a what sold on eBay video, and I'm going to feature 20 items that I sold the month of May. Maybe a little bit of a slower month for me, but I'll explain all of the numbers. We'll talk about why I think that was. It's been a great year so far. Format's going to stay the same. I'm going to pick a winner for the Breath of the Wild game, and then we'll do the bolos, and then I will open up another gift at the end of this video for subscribers, so stay tuned for that. But for now, let's get into 20 interesting, exciting, high-value items that I sold the month of May. All right, Tears of the Kingdom Zelda Switch game. We're going to include replies, filter duplicates like we always do, solve the problems, F5 plus 2. And then we're going to get all of the unique comments. So how many do we have this time? 336. And is this the winner? Yeah. The winner of the Switch game is Kathy Jordan. Thanks for the great content today. My daughter is definitely the gamer out of all 6 of us. Kathy Jordan, congratulations. Send me your details at dadplanetofficial@gmail.com. I'm going to ship all of the previous items out, I think, on Monday, sometime this week. All of those first batch of items are going to go out. But congratulations, Kathy. You are the winner of the Nintendo Switch game. All right, so for the month of May, it was a little bit slower. So down 3% with my total sales, just under 10 grand. Took a huge hit on my net sales relative to last May. But this year, I'm like trending. I think I'm trending almost exactly like last year sales-wise. If you factor in all the giveaways I've done, those items could have been items that I sold through my own store. I would have been kind of crushing last year. So even though this looks like a little bit of a slower month for me, it's actually turned out to be pretty good. Average sales price, $55.45, not bad. Quantity sold, I'm shipping about 6 items a day, which translates to 20 to 30 minutes each day for shipping. So that has to be factored in when you're doing your calculations here. And actually, I forgot to calculate my cost of goods. We'll throw those in at the end. But my average work week this month was 24 hours. So I worked a lot less in May and just about 10 grand. So move on to the first sale here. And one of the things I'm noticing here is this is a stained glass Tiffany Snail. But I think if it was not actual Tiffany, that it should say Tiffany style. It's missing the antenna. So I had this listed, I think, a little bit lower, but that should probably say Tiffany style. So that slipped in there. If you look at some of the current active listings, they're all the same title here. But I think, again, if it's not exactly Tiffany, it's got to say Tiffany style. So that could have been an error on my end. Anyway, I had it listed for 70. I sold it for 50. The buyer is 69.02 all in. It only cost me $5 and it only took 2 days to sell. But if you look, it's a pretty consistent seller here. So here's one for 75 that's also missing the antenna. This one looks like it has it. And so you were able to get a little bit of a higher price. There's my sale right there. But these are in demand. So if you see stained glass Snail lights, definitely look them up. That was a good sale. Next thing here, Rel Wen. I think this was on a markup rack. This was maybe in between $10 and $20 for me. I don't remember exactly, but it's a super fleece. These are super popular. They're not easy to find in the wild. This was brand new with tags. I had it listed for for 200, and it totally could have sold for 200, but I did set out an offer and someone scooped it up. So I sold it for 170. They're just under 200 all in when you factor in shipping and taxes, and it only took 6 days to sell. So here's some of the images, and it's just a basic, I mean, it's very soft, right? It's clearly well made. There's the tag, and they're popular, and they're not easy to find on the secondary marketplace. So take a look here. Rel Wen is definitely a brand you want to keep your eye out for. Here's one that was pre-owned that was listed for 125. Someone accepted an offer. Here's a brand new one that sold for 200, although that looks almost more like a coat than it does a hoodie. But as you can see, the prices are very high for that brand. So if you were not familiar with it, familiarize yourself with that tag because you're going to make some money when you find it. Next thing here, this surprised me because I think this sat in the store. And I had this in one of my previous videos. So I think it was $10. That's usually kind of what they mark their bags at this Goodwill that I found this in. But Sun Mountain, to me, because I don't know golf that well, I didn't think I thought it was generic basically. So I looked at it like 3 or 4 times before I finally did the math, and I was glad that I picked it up because this one actually sold really quickly too. So it sold for 110. I had it listed for 120, and the buyer was 154 all in after shipping and after tax. It only sold in 2 days. So it was a very fast seller. And I think the reason I'm doing so well this year is my commitment to learning golf a little bit more, at least sourcing golf a little bit more. So my golf numbers are definitely up from previous years. This is a great example of it. And hey, let's face it, these bags sell for a pretty high dollar amount. This one was listed for 80. This one was listed for 50. 110 here. A lot of people accepting offers. This bag sold for 120. 185, and these are all pre-owned. So I think I'm kind of in the wheelhouse there at $120, maybe on the higher end here. This one that sold for 185. And Sun Mountain is not a generic golf brand. So I learned that and made some money along the way. Great sale. Next thing here, did I find this in store? This was in one of my videos. I don't remember if it was in the bins or if it was in store. If it was in store, I think I paid $5 for it. If it was at the bins, it's a couple of dollars because it's paid by the pound. Imogene and Willie, I'll try to show you a picture of the tag. So it's very unassuming. And this thing sold within hours of me getting it listed. I think I took an offer. So I had it listed for 75. It sold for 63.74, and the buyer is 82.15 all in. I believe they also left positive feedback for me here on this one. So that was great, but a very, very fast seller. I'm going to show you that tag one more time. Unassuming, not something that stores are going to catch and mark up. So this is a really good one to put on your Polo list. And, I'm 60 or so dollars richer having found it. So that was a good sale. Keep your eye out for that. And here are some of the solds here. There aren't a ton, but look, this one, somebody listed this one at $245. I mean, that's amazing. $100 here. I had mine listed, I think, pretty fair at 75. Maybe I could have doubled my money. Who knows? Maybe that's why it sold so fast. This, hindsight's always 2020. All right, next thing here. Did I get this at a church sale? If I got this at a church sale, it was $10. I don't remember finding this in a thrift store, and I haven't done a ton of garage sales this season, so I think I got this at a church sale. So let's call this one $10. Coleman Peak Model 222A Lantern glass. I had it listed for 120. I think that's what it sold for. Yes, buyer is 140, 12 all in, and this one also only took 4 days to sell. You can take a look at some of the images here. This thing was really clean. Came with the protective carrying case and some extra accessories. But Coleman Lanterns, I love sourcing these, especially in the summer, because they sell really well. Here's an example of a few that have sold that are also pre-owned. Here's another one that's probably in similar condition with the case for 120. Here's one for 100. 222A is the model you're looking for here. Just make it a habit, if you're not familiar with Coleman Lanterns, to look every single one up that you see. And then, eventually you start learning a little bit about them and you get lucky along the way. So this is definitely one of the ones that's more desirable. And that was a fantastic sale. $10 for me. Next thing here, Microsoft keyboard. This sold very fast as well. So the model number on this one is KU-0462, ergonomic, good, easy on the wrists, I believe, number 4,000. I had this listed for 80. Somebody sent me an offer for 60 and I took it. So the buyer is 78.66 all in, only cost me $5, and it's sold in 1 day. Very fast seller. But you can see here 800 results for this in the last 90 days. This is a very in-demand, very popular keyboard. And I think this is another one where if you're going to garage sales, a couple bucks you're going to pay. Stores aren't marking this thing up at all. And there's millions of these items that stores don't mark up. Don't get hung up on stores finding out that Patagonia is now the most valuable thing on earth and they're marking all of their Patagonia up $30. Look for these items, right? Because there's so many of them. So just dig until you find stuff like this. This was an amazing sale at $60. Next thing here, I just had to take a risk because there were no really good comparable solds. In fact, if you look at the next screen, like for Moonleap Meditation, there really is nothing to go on. But what I did here was I looked this company up, and they're just like meditation cushions. So there's nothing really going on here that would catch your eye at first glance. But I went to their website, and it looked like this style, this color was sold out, and they were marked up like extremely expensive on their website. So I just took a chance because it was only going to cost me $10. listed it for 120. An offer came in of 102. I took it and got it sold. So this buyer was 124.87 all in, and this took 2 months to sell. So still a relatively quick seller, but I just took a shot like, okay, these things sell for a really high dollar amount on their website. It doesn't look like there's a ton on the secondary market. Could I kind of come in here and take a risk? I took a risk, pleasantly surprised. And it just depends on where you're at in your business, whether you want to try something like this or not, or you want to go with something that's a little bit more of a guarantee, because again, there's not a ton on this brand on the secondary marketplace. So just a risk that I took. And usually when that happens now, the more comfortable I get reselling in general, reselling on eBay, the more opportunities like this I take, and it usually always works out to my benefit. All right, next thing here, the Filson bag. This was in one of my thrift haul videos, and it was just hanging on the regular rack. So it was marked, I think it was regular price, right? I think they're $5-6 in the store that I found this in. CeCe Filson is a brand you really want to familiarize yourself with. Why is it starting every picture on like the fifth image here? Denim carry-all tote in excellent condition. The leather, the denim, the interior, everything about it screams high value. There's a picture of the tag for you. I had this listed for 200. It sold for 275. This buyer is 313.07 all in. Again, $6 for me. It only took 1 month to sell. CeCe Filson is a bolo. You just saw me source one of the hats recently at the bins, but look at these prices for their pre-owned bags. Here's a nice canvas bag for 200. This one went up to 305 on auction. 145 here, 167. So many opportunities if you find this bag. A brand new one that sold for 275. Probably could have pushed that up a little bit more, but the point is, CeCe Filson is a bolo. Their jackets, the bags, the hats, look for it. When you do, you're usually going to be in the money. Okay, next thing. Here is an item that I did find at a garage sale. So very, very rainy garage sale. I remember it specifically. It was pouring that day. So this was just in like a box of random electronics. This buyer had uninstalled this when they bought the house, but confirmed that it was working. So I paid $10 for it. I had it listed for 120 and I sold it for 90 really quickly. This buyer is 124.68 all in. This went to California, and this also sold within hours. So somebody sent out an offer to me. I jumped on it immediately. So 90, only having paid 10 and selling it within hours. I will take that. This is clearly another item that you want to keep your eye out for. These are the pre-owned solds for this Floodlight Cam Wired Plus. 75 here with the box for 110. Some of these are slightly different. This was 120 with free shipping. Here's one that's white, but yeah, big, meaty, worked, checked all the boxes. Another great sale for me. I think if you don't know any better, just anytime you see a ring, anything that seems like a very popular brand right now, look them all up. Some of them are super low value. Some of the like electronics and the items that they sell are not as high value. So, I mean, keep that in mind, but just make it a point. Anytime you see a ring, anything, look it up. So great sale there. Next thing here, Samantha Brown Croc embossed wheeled luggage bag here. I've sold Samantha Brown before and it was Croc, so I kind of know. I think this might be one of those the brands that sells on QVC, so that television exposure makes it like extremely popular here. I'll take you through some of the pictures. This was one of the like behind the counter specials, so I think this cost me $20. And I tried to take as clear of pictures as I can, like an overcast day, showing all of the functionality here. This is what it looks like on the inside. Bag was in really good condition. I had it listed for 100. What did I sell it for? I sold it for 90. This buyer is 126.90 all in, and it took 4 days to sell. Very fast seller. Samantha Brown Croc, red color. Looks like it's a good bolo. Here's a couple of pieces that sold for 150 recently. 2 more that sold for 90. I got 90 for this bag, so I did really well. Here's like a carry-on weekender bag that sold for 35. And then you can see some other colors here, Samantha Brown, not just red, but very popular. The Croc is a giveaway. Grab it, look it up. And if it's Samantha Brown, you probably have something valuable on your hands. So keep that in mind. Next thing here, this was on a markup rack at a Goodwill, if I remember correctly. So let's call it between $10 and $20. Disney Parks collaboration with Tommy Bahama, 100% silk, Mickey Mouse all over it. Amazing piece. Again, $10 to $20 for me. I had it listed for $125. I sold this for $100 even. So the buyer is $122.32 all in. And this only took 2 months to sell. So another pretty quick seller. I'll take you through some of the pictures. The pattern that I have is like the Mickey Mouse Aloha pattern. If you're looking for exact keywords, great shape, great condition, easy to ship, $100 shirt there. Tommy Bahama Disney, definitely a bolo, something you want to keep your eye out for here. Here's a silk shirt 2XL that was listed for 110. Somebody took an offer, a couple back to back with the same style here, just like has like a nice beachy Hawaiian theme, $100 here, 90 here, and just a few other ones. Even this one here, it looks almost plain, like maybe there are some palm trees in there, that design that I can't see, but $100 there. Tommy Bahama Disney silk, that's the one you want to look up. All right, next thing here, noodle maker, pasta maker by Phillips. Not something that I had ever seen before. Very, very clean. I tested this at a very basic functionality. It worked fine for what I tested it for. I think this buyer has already left me positive feedback, so obviously working for them as well. But I'd never seen a pasta maker by Phillips before. Who knew? Who knew that they were in that market? So pasta noodle maker, I had it listed for 100. It sold for 100. The buyer is 120.53 all in. $15 for me, roughly, and it sold in 2 weeks. So it was a pretty quick seller, and it's a consistent seller here. 33 results in the last 90 days, although a lot of these are just components that go with it. But here's one that was certified refurbished that sold for 200. There's one that sold for 100. One that sold for $30, but it didn't have any of the other like extra components or accessories with it. One that sold for 60, one that sold for 100. So I'm at the top end, which is where I like to be with a lot of my sales, and I'll take it. Keep your eye out for it. Next thing here, Polo Ralph Lauren rugby shirt with the bear on it. These are always really popular. This was awesome because I found it on a regular rack at a thrift store. I think it was a Goodwill. It only cost me $5. I had it listed high, $135. I did take an offer of $115, so the buyer is around $120 all in after shipping and after taxes. And this took 5 months to sell. I'll take you through some of the pictures. It was really clean, and I paid a regular price for it. So $5, I mean, total steal. I'm happy to wait 5 months to get a sale for $115. So these are pretty regular sellers. Always look Polo, Ralph Lauren rugby shirts up, because a lot of them are high value and you wouldn't necessarily know it. Like the naked eye wouldn't catch it because they look very similar. But the Polo rugby bear seems to be a theme here. This is one that was a size medium that sold for 60. I think they probably could have pushed that up a little bit, but as you can see here, brand new, this sold for 185. So me falling in at 115 is probably the wheelhouse price for the size small. Great seller, and always look up the Polo. Anytime you see Polo Ralph Lauren with the bear on it, no matter, even if it's like something other than the rugby bear, like the pillows, the clothing, the shorts, the t-shirts, look it up. That still seems to get a higher price than some of the normal regular Ralph Lauren stuff. So keep that in mind. Look for that bear. Next thing here, Oakley kitchen sink backpack. This is not the first time I've sold one. I knew it when I saw it, so I grabbed it immediately. This is another one of the things that a thrift store had marked up. So they had it listed for 20, and I listed mine for 100. It sold really fast. Sold within 1 day for my full asking price. The buyer is 125.07 all in, and selling this in a day is about as good as you could ask. It looks like the Predator, I always say when you see it. So I've sold 2 or 3 of those so far this year. But yeah, a dead giveaway on these Oakley kitchen sink backpacks. These will turn up at garage sales. We're in garage sale season right now, so keep your eye out for them at the garage sales. And yeah, you'll find them in thrift stores too, but a really easy seller. 70 pre-owned, sold in the last 90 days here. 116.50. That one looks like it was sold for probably a little bit too low here. Brand new, selling in like the 150, 160 range. Here's one that was pre-owned on offer. But yeah, you're going to get $100 for it minimum if it's in decent shape. So keep that in mind. Next thing here, Burberry rain boots. These for like sold comparable purposes, I didn't see a lot of them. And like maybe they would have done better on or sold quicker on another marketplace. I'm definitely not complaining with anything that happened with my sale here, but just when I was running comparables at the time I was looking them up, I just didn't see a ton of Burberry rain boots to kind of go on here. So I did eventually sell these for my full asking price. and I think the MSRP looks like they were around 300. The buyer is 143.14 all in. I paid 20 for these as well, and they sold in 2 months, so really like still a quick seller. But I was just sort of surprised by the lack of Burberry rain boots that had sold on eBay. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, maybe this would have done a little bit better on Poshmark or one of the other marketplaces. But again, I'm not complaining. They sold in 2 months for my full asking price. Like, it really kind of doesn't get any better than that. But if you look here, 4 results in the last 90 days, just not a lot. And that might be a seasonal thing. Who knows? Like, it's not rain, it's not fall season or spring season, which maybe these would have sold a little bit more frequently in those time frames, but I'll take it. Next thing here, coffee grinder. You guys saw me source this in one of my thrift haul videos. Was it $5, $5, $6, $7? I don't remember. This was a great find though. It's missing the lid, like the top cover. But when you put the beans in and grind them, it's not like popcorn where the stuff goes flying everywhere. So you don't technically even really need the lid. Because I didn't have the lid, I didn't price this higher. So I priced this at $80 and I didn't have to take an offer. I sold it for my full asking price. So this buyer is 104.24 all in, and it only took 3 days to sell. It's a very popular bean grinder style. And if I had the lid, I probably could have pushed this to 100, 120, possibly $140. The most important thing is Baratza. Keep your eye out for this brand because, as you can see, for this model 485, there are plenty of solds to go on. Here's one that does have the lid that sold for 100. Okay, maybe this didn't come with a lid. I don't know, because I've seen some that do have, like this one looks like it's got a cover that sold for 100, although it was free shipping. At any rate, Baratza, Encore, this is another one. They're just not catching this at stores, folks. Put this on your Polo radar. All right, next thing here, Paul Mitchell NeuroCell. This was weird to me because there weren't a ton, I couldn't get a ton of really good research, so I had to kind of guess on a price. So this is just a hot roller system. What did I pay for this? I paid $10. They came with some extra rollers. And so I had this listed for $75. I sent out an offer and someone jumped on it. So I sold this for $63.74. The buyer is $87.51 all in. It only took 11 days to sell, but I did also sell an extra set of the hot rollers for $30. So if you add it, I paid $10 and I got $100 out of everything. That was a good sale, but not a ton on like the NeuroCell line that I could really find good data on. Here are the hot rollers that I sold. You can tell that's like that's my sale right there. Those are my pictures. And this thing looks like it might be the same thing that I sold. They're selling it brand new for 120, but not a ton to go on. So, I mean, I think here's a set that they sold for 65. I'll take my $65 plus the 30 on the extra hot rollers. But Paul Mitchell NeuroCell, look this up. There's some money here if you can get it at a good price. Next thing here, pair of shoes. These took a while to sell. It took 9 months to sell. I found these at a thrift store for a regular price, and they were brand new with tags. So I only paid $5, and I sold them for full price, $70. I'll take you through some of the pictures. These are Hey Dude Wallies, but they have a high knit style to them, and there is a picture of the tag for you. Size 13s, so they're a great style. Oh no, yeah, did I say Wayne? Hey Dude Wayne. I don't remember what I said. Hey Dude Wayne. Yeah, there we go. As far as sold comparables, not a ton on Way Dude. Hey Dude Wayne. I'm losing my mind. High tops, 47 here, 40 pre-owned for 34. So I'm like at the ultra high end. These might retail for $70. So the fact that I got this 70 for them was fantastic. And I don't know why it's coming up new other. Maybe it's because I didn't have a box with them. But I don't think these came, maybe they did come in a box. At any rate, it was a good sale. This is the only shoe that I got in this what sold video. So I will take the $70, especially only having paid $5. Next thing here, Pioneer Woman Fiona Floral Slow Cooker. There were none listed at the time I sourced this, and the sold comparables were really low. And so in my brain, I'm like, despite Pioneer Woman being sold at Walmart, the secondary marketplace for a lot of Pioneer Woman items sell really well. So I took a chance and paid $15 for this and listed it for $60, where if there were any sold comparables, they were much lower than the $60 asking price. Luckily, someone bought it for $60. So on 15, that's still a really good sale. This thing was pristine, clean, and it wasn't incredibly difficult to ship. This buyer has already left me positive feedback. They are $77.75 all in, and it only took me 2 weeks to sell. So sometimes you just have to take a little bit of a risk. As you can see here, here's one that sold with free shipping for $38. If it cost you $15 to ship, I mean, you made no money on that sale. So that's kind of crazy to me. There's my sale here. Here's one that's shipped from Vietnam. $51 free shipping. Like none of this makes any sense to me. So, price high, you're going to be pleasantly surprised most of the time. I know Pioneer Woman a little bit now, and so I know there's a good following. I know there's people that will pay up for it despite it being sold in Walmart. So took a risk. That risk worked out. And my last sale here, a vintage J Strongwater enameled 4x6 picture frame. I'm going to take you through the pictures. You can see there are little teeny jewels here. This is a very heavy frame. This is a very high-end, expensive designer. It says J Strongwater right here. The only reason I know this is because my mother worked for years at Saks Fifth Avenue, Neiman Marcus. She's familiar with this. This was one of her frames that she gave to her son for free. So I didn't pay a penny for it. I listed it high, and it sold for $450. This buyer is $497.44 all in. It only took 1 month to sell. J Strongwater is a bolo in most cases. Here's one that is 5x7 that sold for $300, one that sold for $360, one that sold or that was listed for $385. A lot of really interesting and elaborate designs on these frames. $400 here, but the best part about it is I paid nothing for it. Thank you, Mom. I love you. Move?
Yeah.
He did move, didn't he? That's fun.
Hey, help me.
Okay. He's definitely ready to help. You know which one you're going to choose this time? Soaking wet hair. And you're going to help me wrap some more this week?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to reload.
I'm finding one that's great.
Okay, you pick one. Is that the one? All right. Let's open it up. Hold on.
Do you know what my sleeve?
Yeah, that's my cheat sheet, yes. So I know what it is. Oh, I already know what it is. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a sweatshirt.
Kind of. Open it up. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I source so much Patagonia in my videos. I had to include one of these. I think this is a men's Patagonia Better sweater right here. Again, I think I always am listing these at $50 and selling them in fall for that price, but this was very, very clean. I sourced this in one of my videos, actually 2 of them. So one of them goes to you, the subscribers, as a thank you, and yeah, good choice. All right, my cost of goods for the month was $1,476.36. So I increased my spending, and I think that translates into next month's sales. So you will see that information in a future video. My question to you is, what's the 1 or 2 things that's holding you back in your reselling business right now? Where do you think the struggles are in your business? What is it that is impeding you? For me, it's 2 things. I underspend, and I've said this a lot in my videos here. I underspend, but I'm also way too reliant on one brand for my reselling business, and that's Goodwill. I'm going to address that in a future video, but I want to know, like, what's the sticking point for you in your business? What are you struggling with? What's preventing you from increasing your sales or just generally having more success? And we'll talk about that in the future here. Brendan here, Dad Planet, the One Man Show. Thank you so much. Christmas in July rolls on, and we'll see you in the next video.